In the heart of Sabi-san, where the threads of life and death intertwine, the region of Chakradara was living through its golden age. By the end of 2011, the territory had become a symbol of prosperity under the rule of the powerful lioness Kenna. This lioness was the embodiment of intelligence and strength, while her male companion was known for his caution and skill. Their victory over their old enemy, Scar, became a story carried by the winds for months, and it truly seemed like a happy ending for everyone. Kenna and her 3 cubs, who were growing bigger every day, became the center of attention for wildlife experts. Scar's shadow had faded away, and the chapter of violence seemed to have finally closed. But this story, which shocked the world, was about to take an unexpected turn. So prepare yourself not to miss the details of this astonishing saga of revenge, and let us begin. While Kenna was enjoying peace in Chakradara, far away in the Kiti region, 2 orphans were growing up in silence. The young male was transforming into a teenage lion, and his dark mane began appearing like a strip of darkness around his face. In his amber eyes, that darkness and rage had never disappeared. He never forgot the moment of his mother's final roar. He never forgot the sight of Kenna tearing into her body without mercy. And most importantly, he never forgot Chakradara, the paradise stolen from him, the homeland he had sworn to reclaim. 2 full years had passed since that tragic morning in March 2011, and Chakradara had become synonymous with Kenna's unstoppable reign. Her 3 cubs, now approaching their 2nd year, were thriving under her wise leadership. The older male cub was growing into a majestic young lion, his mane filling out with thick, dark fur that hinted at a great future ahead. The younger male was more agile and slimmer, but he compensated for that with sharp and astonishing hunting instincts. As for the female, she had become a skilled predator herself, often hunting beside her mother, proving the strength of her bloodline. Meanwhile, life in Chakradara followed a predictable rhythm: group hunts in the early morning near the watering hole, long naps beneath the acacia trees during the afternoon, and strict evening patrols across the territory's borders. Kenna had become comfortable, perhaps too comfortable. She believed that her battle with Scar had become ancient history, and the memory of the 2 terrified cubs that fled from her rage completely vanished from her mind. Like everyone else, she assumed they had died. The wilderness shows no mercy to young and lonely cubs. But Kenna was wrong. Yes, terribly wrong. In the Kole region, Scar's son survived against all odds. His sister remained beside him for 18 months, providing protection and support before eventually leaving to search for a territory of her own, as young lionesses usually do. But the male stayed behind, growing stronger and more resilient with every passing season. By 2013, he had reached the age of 3 and became a fully grown lion with a thick black mane that was still developing. Most importantly, he became an exceptional hunter. Necessity did not teach him survival alone. He was driven by something far deeper and darker than hunger, revenge, and the rage buried deep inside his heart. The rangers of Kitali noticed him and gave him the name Shadow, because he moved across the savannah like a ghost, rarely seen, but always leaving a mark behind. They did not know his story. They did not realize he was Scar's son, and they also had no idea that every single day he stared toward Chakradara, remembering, planning silently, and waiting for the perfect moment to turn everything upside down. It did not take long for that moment to arrive. In early 2013, Shadow had already learned patience and strategy, qualities inherited from his mother. He never stormed into Chakradara with a roar of challenge that could reveal his presence. Instead, he began making careful and calculated infiltrations around the edges of the territory, studying the terrain with precision, tracking Kenna's movements, and recording the patterns of her patrols. He moved under the cover of darkness and always stayed against the direction of the wind, making himself completely invisible. Then came a series of mysterious deaths that shook the wildlife community. In March 2013, Kenna's older male cub disappeared during a routine patrol. After 2 days of frantic searching, The rangers found his body near the eastern border of Chakradara. His throat had been torn open with horrifying surgical precision. The killing was clean, professional, the work of an experienced predator possessing extraordinary skill. But what confused everyone was the absence of any attempt to eat the body as prey. The corpse was almost untouched. This was not hunting for survival. It was an execution, a bloody message directed only at Kenna. After seeing her dead cub, Kenna collapsed emotionally. She spent days and nights beside her son's body, roaring into the darkness and searching for the killer. But no answers came. The rangers investigated, but they found no clear evidence. Male lions sometimes kill cubs to force females into mating again, but Kenna's cubs were nearly 2 years old, far too mature for this kind of infanticide. This was something else, something personal and terrifying. In July 2013, after 4 months of terror, Kenna's younger male cub suffered the same fate. He was found dead near the watering hole, his throat torn open, and his body untouched as well. 2 cubs, the same precise killing method, the same mysterious circumstances. Kenna was consumed by indescribable grief and rage. She began patrolling her territory obsessively, releasing desperate challenge roars into the darkness. But the killer never revealed himself. Kenna suspected that a strange male lion was responsible, but she could not identify him. What she failed to realize was that the killer was not just a passing intruder. Meanwhile, Shadow circled around her, watching carefully and waiting for the moment she would completely break down. The paradise of Chakradara had transformed into a place of fear and paranoia. There was a mysterious beast hunting them, choosing them one after another, and Kenna had absolutely no idea who he was or what his motives were. And so, amid Kenna's terrible psychological state, one question remained hanging in the air. Would she be able to face him? Would the only daughter survive? And would Kenna discover that Shadow, the shadow haunting her, was the son of her old enemy? We are all waiting to see what will happen when Shadow finally confronts Kenna face to face. Most likely, it will become a legendary battle, a battle of existence and revenge from both sides.